Hi everyone, it's Holly Marie, and we are back with the Hunger Games Simulator Season 2. This one I was the most excited about, and it has taken the longest to make. It's Sean Bean Hunger Games. I mean, he's famous for dying in all his movies, so why not make a Hunger Games to see which Sean Bean can survive? Obviously, I couldn't fit every single character he's ever played in this series, but the first few I picked were ones that I knew who the character was, and then I picked like TV series he's been in, and then some older movies that he's been in as well. So I try to change it up. If your favorite Sean Bean character is not here, well, I apologize, and if I butcher any names, I also apologize. But yeah, anyway, without further ado, let's get started and see which Sean Bean is the best Sean Bean. So in District 1, we have Boromir from the Lord of the Rings series, Partridge from Equilibrium, which is one of my favorites, Ian Howe from National Treasure, Zeus from the Percy Jackson series, and I put Ned Stark. I know it's Eddard Stark, but I'm not good at pronouncing the name, so I put Ned Stark, so apologies to Game of Thrones fans. In District 3 we also have Lovelace, sorry if I butcher anyone, from Clarissa. In District 4 I have Mellors from Lady Chatterley and Paul from A Woman's Guide to Adultery. I'm reading the titles while I go. In District 5, we have Lord Richard Fenton from Scarlet. In District 5, we have Neil Byrne from Extremely Dangerous. In District 6, we have Richard Sharpie from Sharpie. Sharpie? I don't know. So I'm just gonna call him Richard. Bill Goodfellow from Wolfwalkers. He voiced it. And then in District 7 we have Sol Ulrich from Black Death, Paul Winstone from Missing. In District 8 we have Martin Odom from Legends and Father Michael from Broken. In District 9 we have John Merlot from the Frankenstein Chronicles and Tom Hammond from The Oath. District 10 we have Jacopo de Pazzi. I'll just call him Pazzi for short because that's hard to... I'll try to do the Jacopo de Pazzi from Medici, and then the General from Curfew. In District 11 we have Douglas Bennett from World on Fire and Joseph Wolford from Snowpiercer. And finally, in District 12, we have Carver Dune from Lorna Doone and Brendan from Stormy Monday. Whew. So anyway, let's see. I also have a treat in here because I tried to put a couple events in. I only have 2 in there, so 1 of 2 hopefully will show up where it's Sean Bean's way of dying, so hopefully we'll find some good ones in there when we get in. So let's proceed. Okay, so Hunger Games, the Bloodbath. As the tributes stand on their podiums, the horn sounds. Paul runs away from the cornucopia. The General, Joseph Wilford, Paul Winston, and Mellors share everything they gathered before running. Sir Ulrich runs away from the cornucopia. Lord Richard Fenton runs away from the cornucopia. Zeus finds a canteen full of water. Neil Byrne finds a canteen full of water. Martin Odom runs away from the cornucopia. Jacopo de Pazzi gathers as much food as he can. Douglas Bennett breaks Father Michael's nose for a basket of bread. It's funny because yeah. Partridge runs away from the cornucopia. Tom Hammond sets Ned Stark on fire with a Molotov. Well, sorry, Game of Thrones fans, I guess Eddard Stark isn't very survivable. Lovelace and John Merlot, Boromir, and Richard share everything they gathered before running. Ian Howe severely injures Brendan and leaves him to die. Aw, young Sean Bean. Those bye-bye. Bill Goodfellow stabs Carver Doon while he's back at Stern. I also put The Oath in the cornucopia. I was hoping one of them would grab it. And what else did I did? Oh, and I said they got distracted by the ring, the one ring in the beginning. I guess no one got distracted. Day 1. Joseph Wolford steals from Father Michael while he isn't looking. Oh my god, poor Father Michael. His bread gets stolen. I'm guessing his wine, because that would be the only other thing he would have on him. Or, you know, his crucifix. Is he Catholic? I don't know if it's Catholic. I haven't seen all his movies. I'm gonna assume, since it's Father Michael, it's Catholic. Paul Winston makes a slingshot. Martin Odom searches for a water source. Partridge collects fruit from a tree. Tom Hammond is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Neil Byrne and Lovelace work together for the day. I wonder if it screwed them up. I don't know. Paul begs for Bill Goodfellow to kill him. He refuses, keeping Paul alive. Jacopo de Pazzi, John Merlot, Douglas Bennett, and Richard Hunt for other tributes. Lord Richard Fenton overhears Sir Ulrich and Boromir talking in the distance. Zeus attacks Mellors, but he manages to escape. Ian Howe collects fruit from a tree, and the general thinks about home. Oh, right then. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Ned Stark, District 3, Brendan, District 12, and Carver Doon, District 12. 12 is not feeling so good. Night 1, Tom Hammond cries himself to sleep. Lord Richard Fenton loses sight of where he is. Boromir is unable to start a fire and sleeps without warmth. That would never happen anywhere. Mellors and Father Michael sleep in shifts. John Merlot lets Sir Ulrich into a shelter. Douglas Bennett accidentally detonates a landmine while trying to arm it. Yeah, I think... it sucks. I had a lot that I typed in, and it took several hours, and I think, because I loaded up another one to reference it, might have messed up all the things I put in. We'll see. Yeah, because I deleted this one. Paul Winston dies trying to escape the arena. I had that one removed, so that sucks. I tried to make it cool, guys. I'm sorry. Paul receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Zeus receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. The general lets Jacopo de Pazzi into a shelter. Richard receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Martin Odom, Ian Howe, and Neil Byrne sleep in shifts. Lovelace is awoken by nightmares. Partridge tries to treat his infection. Joseph Wolford goes to sleep. Bill Goodfellow receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Day 2. Martin Odom receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Zeus picks flowers. Lovelace tries to sleep through the entire day. Bill Goodfellow travels to higher ground. Jacopo de Pazzi goes hunting. Paul, Sir Ulrich, John Merlot, and Tom Hammond raid the general's camp while he is hunting. Well, that sucks. Mellors severely slices Neil Byrne with a sword. Boromir and Richard work together for the day. Father Michael defeats Joseph Wilford in a fight but spares his life. Wow, they pushed the father too far. They took his wine. They took his bread. His nose is broken. He is not a happy man. Ian Howe is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Lord Richard Fenton fishes. Partridge collects fruit from a tree. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Douglas Bennett, Paul Winstone, and Neil Byrne. The cartoon is still alive. Night 2. Paul looks at the night sky. Martin Odom receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Why do people keep getting hatchets? Everyone needs a hatchet. Here's a hatchet for you. There's a hatchet for you. Everyone gets a hatchet. Lovelace goes to sleep. Tom Hammond thinks about home. Jacopo de Pazzi destroys Partridge's supplies while he is asleep. Oh, come on. Partridge is such a good guy. Why would you do that to him? Zeus and Sir Ulrich cuddle for more. He cuddles with a god. He has no fear. John Merlot stabs Lord Richard Fenton in the back with a trident. Well, that's fine. He has a long name. Long names get tiring. Father Michael, Richard, Joseph Wolford, and Bill Goodfellow tell each other ghost stories to lighten the mood. Boromir falls into a frozen lake and drowns. No, Boromir, you can't win, can you? Ian Howe convinces Mellors to snuggle with him. The general receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Partridge travels to higher ground. Yes. Go Partridge. Father Michael goes hunting. You know, I have never seen Broken, I think is the movie or show. I think it's a series. I've never seen it, but I kind of want to now just to see who Father Michael is. Lovelace sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Joseph Wilford collects fruit from a tree. Sir Ulrich and the general split to search for resources. Martin Odom discovers a cave. Jacopo de Pazzi and Richard split up to search for resources. Zeus chases Tom Hammond. Bill Goodfellow attacks Ian Howe, but he manages to escape. Mellors tends to John Marlowe's wounds. Paul unknowingly eats toxic berries. Well, Paul, a goodbye. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Lord Richard Fenton, District 5, Boromir, District 1, and Paul, District 4. Bill Boromir. Night 3. Joseph Wilford and the generals tell stories about themselves to each other. Richard tends to Martin Odom's wounds. Ian Howe is awoken by nightmares. Lovelace, Zeus, Tom Hammond, Sir Ulrich, and Bill Goodfellow sleep in shifts. Wow, I cannot talk. Too many of you are together. Separate. Partridge sees a fire but stays hidden. Mellors, Father Michael, and Jacopo de Pazzi cheerfully sing songs together. John Marlowe receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Day 4. Father Michael decapitates Susan Cornucopia to prove dominance. Oh my god! That was one that I put. So maybe they are working. That's awesome. Of all people, it's Father Michael. And to prove dominance. Oh my god. The priest kills a god. Alright, to prove his dominance. Nice. Yes, I put that in there. I kind of tried to make a Game of Thrones reference for when Eddard Stark lost his head. So that's what it was. And I was like, trying to make it. So if you didn't like it, I'm sorry. But that scenario is amazing. Tom Hammond scares Partridge off. Joseph Wilford tries to spear fish with a trident. John Marlowe begs for Martin Odom to kill him. He refuses, keeping John Marlowe alive. The general searches for firewood. So Sir Ulrich and Jacopo de Pazzi work together for the day. Mellors and Bill Goodfellow work together for the day. Lovelace hunts for other tributes. Richard is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Ian Howe receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Zeus died of the most hilarious of ways. I cannot believe a priest decapitates a god. Well then. Night 4. Jacopo de Pazzi tends to Richard's wounds. I think Father Michael is losing his mind. Maybe you guys should have stolen his wine and broken his nose at the beginning. Father Michael and Ian Howe hold hands. Mellors loses sight of where he is. I want to see where the Jacopo or Father Michael goes because he is right now my favorite in this. Every time it's something amazing for him. Bill Goodfellow is awoken by nightmares. John Marlowe, Lovelace, Martin Odom, the General, and Partridge sleep in ships. Tom Hammond lets Sir Ulrich into his shelter, and Joseph Wilford questions his sanity. Day 5. Father Michael severely No, Partridge with a sword. Why? Why you gotta do Partridge like that? Ian Howe discovers a river. Martin Odom hunts for other tributes. Joseph Wilford sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. John Marlowe sees smoke rising in the distance, but decides not to investigate. Tom Hammond is bayoneted in the chest by the general. Nice. Jacopo de Pazzi, Bill Goodfellow, and Lovelace get into a fight. Bill Goodfellow triumphantly kills them both. Aw, the cartoon is gone. Oh no, Bill Goodfellow is the cartoon. Never mind, he killed these two. Sir Ulrich goes hunting. Richard defeats Mellors in a fight that spares his life. Fallen tributes 5. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Partridge, District 1. Tom Hammond, District 9. Jacopo de Pazzi, District 10. At least that one's gone. Although I was kind of getting into the habit of saying his name, so it wasn't too bad. Lovelace, District 3. Night 5. Bill Goodfellow loses sight of where he is. Mellors goes to sleep. The general passes out from exhaustion. Joseph Wilford cooks his food before putting his fire out. Richard cooks his food before putting his fire out. Well, you guys could have cooked your food together. And that would have been fun, too. Father Michael passes out from exhaustion. Ian Howe strangles Martin Odom after engaging in a fistfight. So, Sir Ulrich climbs a tree to rest. Sir Ulrich, you have to die next because I can't say your name anymore. At least Father Michael's still alive. I'm rooting for you, even though you killed my favorite character. Jean Marlowe receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. Oh, it's a feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. The general decides not to go to the feast. Joseph Wilford decides not to go to the feast. Sir Ulrich decides not to go to the feast. Richard shoots an arrow at Mellors, but misses and kills Ian Howe instead. John Marlowe shoots an arrow at Bill Goodfellow, but misses and kills. No, Father Michael! No! Come on. See? Every time. It never fails. I'm like, oh, my favorite character? Oh, I love this guy. Dead. They're dead now. You're not allowed to have a favorite character. Day 6. Mellor severely slices the general with a sword. Aw, the general's gone now too. So Ulrich bashes John Marlowe's head against a rock several times. Richard attacks Bill Goodfellow, but he manages to escape. Good job, Bill. Joseph Wilford falls into a pit. Arena bits. Turrets are placed in the arena. Okay, so this is one of them. He gets shot so many times in his shows. So this is what I made up. Mellor survives. Richard uses Sir Ulrich as a shield. Bill Goodfellow is shot in the back. There's also a possibility of getting shot in the face and the chest, and I think there was one more of like being put in front of it. So not bad, huh? The other event I had was cattle being released into the arena. So that happens too. 8 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Martin Odom, District 8. Ian Howe, District 2. Father Michael, District 8. The General, District 10. John Marlowe, District 9. Joseph Wilford, District 11. Sir Ulrich, District 7. And Bill Goodfellow, District 6. Well, we already know who wins, so I hope you already decided which one you want to win. Night 6. Mellor strangles Richard with a rope. Woo! The winner is Mellors from District 4. Alright, let's see. Who killed the most? I think it was Mellors. Is it just going to be the winner every time now? Yeah. Man, I'm so sad. I was so hoping Father Michael. I was holding out for him. So that'll be it for the Hunger Games Sean Bean edition. If you guys like this, make sure to leave a like below so I know that you like this stuff. And also, if you have any suggestions that you want for a Hunger Games, I would be more than happy to rotate it into my Hunger Games. I have plenty of ideas for it, and there will be Pokemon Hunger Games coming soon for those of you who have been waiting for that. But otherwise, hopefully I will see you guys next time. Bye!